Bonjour à tous, comme vous connaissez, je ne parle pas bien le français et je ne parle pas patois. Alors, comme toujours, anglais. So welcome to what we hope will be the first of a series of fundraising events to benefit the tCHF. Geoffrey Cantor. I'm now somehow on the board of directors of the tCHF. So if you're here, I'm assuming that you know what we do. Even before Mother Nature decided that Haiti deserves the lion's share of disasters, the foundation was established primarily to foster a new culture that is based upon the education and empowerment of young people. And I was drawn into gentle service by Jose Pierre aboard a flight, as he told you, and I have a soft spot for those two goals. This past year, as Jose just pointed out, the tCHF is engaged in other services as well, from hands-on care in the field to the creation of a computer system, the purpose of which is to aid processing of earthquake victims in hospitals. But now we're turning our attention back to the overarching mission to educate the people and give them the tools to have an impact on their own destiny. Our keynote speaker is a wonderful example of what empowerment and education can do. Born in Kingston, Jamaica, and raised in Fessenville, Haiti, this wonderful and dynamic young lady moved to the United States with her family, who happened to be here today, in 1989. She graduated from Binghamton University with Bachelor of Arts degrees in French and English in 1996 and attended SUNY Genesco from 92 to 94. Since finishing school 16 years ago, she has worked for the Madison Square Garden Network, WPHL-TV in Philadelphia, as the first female sportscaster there, WICZ-TV in Binghamton, New York, WUHF-TV in Rochester, New York. From 2004 to 2007, she was the weekend morning sports anchor for WABC's Eyewitness News in New York City, where she had a special segment called Jenna's Beef. Jenna's Kosher Beef, in which she editorialized an event for the World Sports that week. She is currently the co-anchor of Sunday Today and is a national correspondent and occasional anchor of the weekday edition of NBC's Today and the NBC Nightly News. So, without further ado, it's not about me. It's my honor and great privilege to introduce you to my friend and a great friend of Haiti, Ms. Jenna Wolfe.
Greatest introduction ever. If you could just stand in my living room and introduce me every morning, wouldn't that be just the best? Every morning I kind of learn what I do. It'd be great. I usually never write down anything. I just like to speak. But of course my parents had to screw that up for me by showing up, so I don't want to screw it up for anyone. I wrote it down so I get all the words correctly, but I know that I'll never stick to it. So we learned how Geoffrey met Jose. The way I met Geoffrey was really funny. My best friend lives up here in Ramsey, New Jersey, and this will give you an idea of who I am. So I'm on a train back from Ramsey, New Jersey. I have 150 bags because of course I had to go to Target because they don't have Target in the city. You know, you go to Target, you go in for one thing, you walk out $400 with everything, right? So I'm on this train, I have like 150 bags. I'm on the BlackBerry, on the cell phone, typing, talking, doing a million different things, in addition to somehow meeting this perfect stranger and somehow bringing up Haiti, which took us all of about 5 seconds to bring that up. So my point is this. I will literally do anything to bring Haiti up into any kind of conversation. I brag to people that I'm from Haiti. I brag to people that I can kind of speak un petit peu de créole. Just all right, so let me go backwards a second before I go forward. It's all going to make sense. So Jeff and I stayed in touch over the years, and when he asked me to be a part of today's event, obviously I said, is there a Target close by? I'm definitely going to do that. But he said no, and I said yes anyway, because I'm so great. The truth is, I used to like telling people my story. Where was I born? Kingston, Jamaica. Where did I live? Port-au-Prince, Haiti. You know, why was I moving to the United States in high school? Because of the political strife following the Duvalier regime there. But people generally don't have any follow-up questions after that, other than, you know, why were you there? What was it like? Did you get a good tan? Why, why Kuwaiti? I'm like, no, it's Haiti. It's not really. But all of that, really, I would say 85% of that changed after the earthquake. And now people love asking me about that impoverished land and the people, and I love talking about it. So, in a nutshell, yes, born in Kingston, my parents were living there because my father, Bennett, has a chain of leather manufacturing companies in the Caribbean. My brother and I both were born down there, and then in 1979 we moved to Haiti, and we were there ever since I came up here to go back to high school. time, it was a quiet, calm island. For those of you who remember Haiti way back then, it was still the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, but politically, although they were under a dictatorship, it worked. The country moved along slowly and it worked. I celebrated Carnival. You know, I spoke Creole. I ate poisson grossel and pumpkin with the dumplings. I know you're laughing at me, and I don't look like it, but there's a little Haitian. I played with a lot of the Haitian kids down there, but unlike a lot of the local children there, you know, my future, and I knew it was bright and it was wide open because I had the luxury of affording an education. I had proper schooling. I had books, too many books sometimes. I had supplies, I had tutoring if I needed. I had everything that I needed in front of me to pave my future. And that's what unfortunately separated me from a lot of the kids down in Haiti. And that to me, in looking back, was the biggest tragedy. So when Geoffrey called me, and he also texted and BBM'd and then called again and then emailed, and he asked me to speak today. And you got in touch with me, so that's good. And asked me to be a part of the Children's Heritage Foundation, which is just dedicated to the education and the development of Haiti's youth. I emailed him and I BBM'd him and I texted him and I said, yes, I'm definitely going to be there. So for those of you who have been down to Haiti, and I assume it's a lot of people here, you know what I'm talking about. It's not like you tell someone you're going on vacation, they say, where are you going? And you say, I'm going to, I don't know, St. Martin or St. Thomas or St. No, we're not one of the saints. This is Haiti. It's different. Haiti has pride in its name. Haiti's got color in its history. Haiti's got soul in its sound. When you tell someone you're from Haiti, for the people who have been. For the people who haven't been down to Haiti, you have to wonder why this world was so consumed in rebuilding this country and why everyone was jumping on board to help these people and to reach out to everyone who had a pocket and to ask for help. I mean, we saw it. We turned on the TV. We saw telethons. We saw fundraisers. We saw music videos. We saw pleas from all different governments from all around the world. You know why? Because right now, the people in Haiti are having a hard time helping themselves. They want to, and one day they're going to, but right now they need the tools to learn the skills to become self-sufficient. They need an education, they need guidance, they need the confidence, they need support, they need someone to say, you can do this. And people like Jose are saying, you can do this, giving them the tools, giving us the tools to help ourselves. It's not easy living in a country like Haiti. I remember as a kid, I was probably 7 or 8 years old, and I went to the bathroom to take a bath. There was a tarantula in the bathtub. I remember once I was in my bathroom getting ready to go to sleep. There was a bat on the wall. Not a lizard, a big black bat, okay? I was 10 years old at the time. One time my parents had a bunch of people over for a dinner party or something, and a family of chickens walked through the house. There was like a mother chicken and like a dad chicken and like 8 little chicks, and there were my parents and people, and the chickens don't give a damn. They're doing their thing. And if you've been to Haiti, you know we had electricity about 8 months out of the year. We had to save our own water, otherwise we would run out of water. When I was 11 and my brother was 8, our family had gone away on a random weekend. It was the first weekend ever. I was away, my brother was away, we were friends, and my parents went away. And an electric wire right outside my bedroom window, out of nowhere, snapped, hit my window, a spark came inside, caught the rug on fire. The entire house burned down. Everything we owned. And our neighbors had to just watch because there was no fire department to come douse the flames. We lost every picture, every memory we had, every single thing we owned, completely gone in 2 hours. My doll collection, my brother's toy collection, everything my parents had, every memory we ever had, completely gone. We rebuilt, because that's what you do when you're in Haiti. You rebuild and you move on. But that was my way of telling you guys how it's not that easy living in that country when you have. Imagine living in Haiti when you have not. I did have, and I am blessed to have been among the few who did have. But if you didn't, life wasn't easy. And you add to that stuff that Geoffrey and Jose were talking about, hurricane damage and flooding and the shoddy infrastructure and poverty and political strife. And oh yeah, that catastrophic earthquake that you can only imagine what has been left in Haiti. Not much, except the people and their heart, right? You know what I'm talking about, that collective, beautiful, inspiring, contagious, soulful Haitian heart. And you have to know it to really understand it. And it's that heart that draws people like me to help, and it draws people like you to help, and people like Geoffrey and Jose and Anderson Cooper and Wyclef and President Obama and Hollywood and all the people around the world. It's why they're drawn to this country. You want to help others who can't help themselves right now, and this is one way you can do it. I went back to Haiti in February to cover the aftermath of the earthquake for NBC News. It was devastating. I mean, I saw what you guys saw. I saw it in person. Maybe you guys did too. Just in order to get into the country, I had to fly into the DR. I got there at 1 in the morning, blinding rainstorm. I got into a convoy at 2 a.m., drove 10 hours over an unpaved road, over the border in a convoy to get into Port-au-Prince. It was in the middle of the night. We drove through ravines and washed away roads. We hit looters. We hit small children who were selling tiny little bags of bleach to just make a little bit of money, to maybe buy a little bit of food. I mean, it was devastating. It was sad. But at the time, that's how people were getting by in Haiti. And it goes to show you how much people wanted to be down there. They would go through all that just to get into the country because flights weren't landing. So my first day there, I came up with this great idea. I was going to go back and find my nanny, who in Haiti, if you live in Haiti, you know when you have a nanny or a housekeeper, they're part of your family. They don't take care of you. They live with you. They grow with you. They are an older sister or another mother or whatever it is. They are a part of your blood. I was 14 when I left Haiti, and Anglaise was probably in her mid-20s or something. So now it's 20 years later, and I decide after this earthquake, I'm going to go back and I'm going to find her. So now here's me, here's this country, and I have nothing else but a little bit of Creole that I spoke. I'm going to go find this woman. It was daunting. So we started first thing the next morning, and like I said, I speak a little bit of Creole, so I was able to make my way from shantytown to this town, that town. This one knew someone who knew someone who maybe knew someone who maybe knew someone who maybe knew someone who might have known Anglaise. So this is how it is in Haiti, you know? So as we moved along, we stopped at different places. And as I kept going, this person would come with me. They had nowhere else to be. This person kept coming with me. They had nowhere else to be. So we kept collecting people as we went from different places. We stopped at my old school, Union School, which was now a homeless shelter. We stopped at my dad's factory, where workers were literally lined up outside this broken building, praying to work, to make a little money, not only to buy food for themselves, but to buy a tarp to just cover themselves at night because nobody was going back into these buildings. We passed by my old house where, as a child, the house was tall and proud after we rebuilt it after the fire. And now this house that was so big to me was tired and thirsty and just sort of hanging on to memories. So we go on and on and on, and hour after hour, and we're not getting anywhere, and there's about 5 or 6 people with me right now, and it's hot, and it's getting late in the day, and dusk is approaching, and we are hot, and we are tired, and we have a camera crew, and we started up this steep, unpaved side of the mountain, and we were told from a friend of a friend that Anglaise may be here. We all agreed this was going to be the last stop of the day. It had to be. We were absolutely exhausted. We wanted to just go back to the hotel. If we didn't find her, we were ready to just give up hope of finding her, to get back in the car, come down from what was going to be a very emotional day. And if we didn't find her, it was a shame, but we were going to have to give up. And then, I kid you not, it was as if it was in a movie. Like, we turned around, we asked, they didn't say they know her, I turned around, and all of a sudden, my name is Jenna, but my real name is Jennifer, and the way Anglaise used to call me in Creole was Jennifer. And I turn around and I heard this faint little voice, I swear to you, and I heard Jennifer, Jennifer. And if I tell you, it brought me back to the days that I was living in Haiti. And I turned around and my heart just started pounding, and we had cameras rolling, and I had so many things prepared if I saw her, questions, and the way I was going to respond, and how I was going to move, and where I was going to stand, and none of it mattered. I mean, standing there in the heat and the blazing sun and uncomfortable, it didn't matter. I started crying. It was the only emotion I knew. It was the only thing that came naturally to me. And I turned around, and there she was, this woman that I remember as this young, thin, vibrant woman, was now older, and she put on some weight, and she was moving a little slower. And I turned around, and I ran up this hill, and she ran down this hill. And we embraced, and I didn't remember anything. I didn't remember anything I planned. We just cried. And all the differences between our lives in the last 15 years, where my life has gone and where her life has gone, and all the people we met and where our lives took us, and all we had was the exact same emotion. Exactly. We just cried and we hugged. And we shared this bond that you don't lose with people down there. I mean, it is a bond that is solid and that it transgress time, and it just means something really special. So that was when I really knew at that moment that earthquake may have crushed these people's homes. It didn't crush their spirits. There was spirit in that country. Was my story, and that was my reason for going back down to Haiti, and that was my truth. Andremise, now supporting 16 family members under one plastic tarp with little or no food. You know, she still offered me a drink, and she still offered me whatever food she had, and I'm not the least bit surprised. I was honored, and I was blessed, and all I wanted to do was leave everything I had and just take this woman away from me, from this area, from this place in this country, and bring her back. And I knew at that moment, I was like, but that's not what I want to do. This is where she belongs. We have to come down here and make this the right place to be, and bring help to Haiti, not take people out of Haiti and give them opportunities so much up here. Bring the opportunities there. In all honesty, not to tout my own horn, it was a beautiful story. It was about her. If you Google Jenna Wolfe in Haiti, you'll most likely see this piece. It was beautiful, and I was so proud. And of everything I've ever done at the Today Show, and I usually do the funny pieces, I have more pride in that piece than anything I've ever done, because that's my country, and those are my people, and I feel so honored to have been a part of it. So here's the thing. It's what, 6, 7, 8 months later, and we're all sitting here. And the cameras have mostly turned their collective attention elsewhere in the world, and newspaper headlines have since changed topics for the most part. But we shouldn't, you know, and we can't forget the work that still needs to be done in Haiti. It won't be easy, but just remember, we have running water, we have electricity, we have a roof over our heads, we have a meal to look forward to, and we have Target. So there's no excuse why we can't help the people back down there. So I want to thank you so much for letting me tell my story here today, for letting me take an interest in Haiti that has gone beyond just covering it for the Today Show, for letting me be events like this where I can just share a fraction of how much Haiti means to me, and I'm sure it means to all of you. I feel like I'm Haitian. There's Haiti in my blood. So on behalf of myself and my family, my father was down in Haiti for the last 10 days. He still works down there, and he had an opportunity. I mean, this is unplanned, and I hope I don't put you on the spot, Dad. He had an opportunity, in all honesty, to sell the business. And what was the point in keeping it? That there was no one to come fix the factory. He couldn't employ all the workers. He didn't have enough work for them. And he went back down there, and he was going to deliver this news. And he tells me this story, which broke my heart, where he walked into the factory, and people literally got down on their knees and looked at him as if he was a saint and said, please, whatever you do, don't sell this factory. You are everything to us. You are the reason we get up and come to work. You are the reason that we are still here today. And he didn't have to do this. He could have retired. He went back down there, and he started that factory up again, and he goes down every month. And my mom, who sits and waits for him to come back, even though it's still dangerous down there, he does it. And Jose, for